My name is Jay, and I like to talk about things for a really long time. Today's victim is one of my playlists, one of my Spotify playlists. I asked my followers if they wanted to hear me blab about what songs I put on my Spotify playlists, and it was unanimous that it was a yes. People may have been just trying to be nice. But I got no no's, so I'm just going to take that and run with it. I compiled a 36-page analysis on my favorite playlist I've ever made, which is my Frodo Baggins playlist. And I am wearing my fit for him today. I've got Frodo here with me to help me out. Love him. Look at him. Not a thought behind those eyes. He's very dear to me. And I'm here to talk about Frodo Baggins for a really long time because I care about him very, very much. I made this playlist, I started it in 2020. I'm still updating it, so honestly it's subject to change at any time, but I think I'm at the point right now where I feel very good about the content on it, and I don't expect myself to change it too much in the coming years. Again, subject to change. Things change all the time, and that's the beauty of life, but I do not foresee myself adding too much to it or taking away too much. I did a lot of work into explaining each song on here, and I think they're going to stay on there for a really long time. With that being said, a lot of songs on here, I need to explain a couple things. I will explain each song. I just want to go into this letting people know I have like kind of loose knowledge on the books. No pitchforks, please. I did some research into this, so if I say anything incorrectly, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure I got all my facts straight. I did this after a rewatch of the movies, so, you know, my memory may not be super great on the books, but I looked up anything that I was kind of confused on, and I also would like to just say that a lot of these songs are specifically about him, but also maybe about the Fellowship, or about like a specific character like Gandalf or Smeagol. A lot of them are also, if you subscribe to the fact that Sam and Frodo may be romantically inclined, that's kind of how I viewed their relationship when I consumed Lord of the Rings. You can think however you'd like about it. I'm not here to sway anybody's opinion on if they did or didn't have that type of relationship, and I think that the songs work platonically or romantically, but there are going to be some songs that are very romantically inclined. So if you don't enjoy that, that's fine. And if you don't think of them that way, that's fine too. But I did, and a lot of this content is going to be about that. So I seriously don't know how long this is going to take, so I'm just going to dive in. Hopefully Jay in the future will add in anything if need be, but I'm just going to go right into it and start off with song number 1, The Shire by Howard Shore. This is an instrumental song. It is the song that plays when the Shire is shown for the first time. It's an introductory song. I think it's just a good set piece to get you in the mindset of us visiting the Shire, visiting the hobbits. That's kind of all it's there for. Okay, so our first official song with lyrics is Cottage Roads by the Walters. Why did this just scroll to page 15 when I'm on page 1? Hello! So the lyrics for Cottage Roads are, I can never be a tough guy, I play my cards dry. It may be next time, will you be mine? We can make it only if we try. Take me home down cottage roads. And then in another verse it's, let's go fishing out on the lake. When it gets dark, I'll take you in and cook for you, babe. That's just something that I'm gonna do to show you how much I really love you. So in my opinion, this song feels very much like we're peering into a hobbit's daily life. Or the hobbits' daily lives. Not only that, but the narrator feels very Frodo-esque to me. It feels very relatable to Frodo. Frodo is not a tough guy. He's brave, but he's shown time and time again not really be the tough type. He lacks many of those faculties that make him a typical hero, but his good-natured heart and determination are what allow him to deliver the ring to Mordor. This song has a lot of romantic undertones as well, and I mentioned that. I feel as though these lines suits Frodo and Samwise's relationship, especially how much Sam takes care of Frodo, and how if they did live that domestic life, they would both be taking care of each other in that way. A lot of hobbits fish, they bake a lot because they love to eat, they love cooking. I feel like this whole song evokes that feeling of a domestic hobbit life. So song number 3 is Beautiful Boy, Darling Boy by John Lennon. John Lennon wrote this song specifically for his son Sean, and it's supposed to be kind of a lullaby-esque song, so it's very gentle, it's very sweet. The lyrics that I've picked out are, out on the ocean sailing away, I can hardly wait to see you come of age, but I guess we'll both just have to be patient, 'cause it's a long way to go, a hard road to hoe. So, this song feels like, to me, it's Bilbo singing to Frodo. Bilbo was Frodo's adopted uncle. Frodo's parents drowned when he was just a kid, and technically they're cousins, but Bilbo is so much older than him, so he decided to be his adopted uncle, kind of like a father figure to him. And interestingly enough, in the beginning of Fellowship, they're celebrating Bilbo's celebrating his birthday. and it's also Frodo's birthday as well, which isn't really like too much talked about in the movie, but the Fellowship of the Ring very much is Frodo's coming of age. Like, it may not be like the typical coming of age, he is in his 30s at that point, but it is his coming of age story. He embarks on an adventure. So when he was a kid, Bilbo used to tell Frodo stories of the events of the Hobbit, like things that he did, his adventures. He didn't fully tell him the truth of those adventures, but after he told Frodo about some of the adventures, Frodo kind of wanted to follow in his footsteps. He always kind of like imagined going on an adventure like that. He always wanted to be like Bilbo in that way. When Bilbo decides to leave for Rivendell, he knows in his heart that Frodo's not ready to leave the Shire yet. He knows his heart is still in there and that he is not ready for that quite yet. But very soon after that, Frodo gets swept up into the adventure with the ring anyway. Okay, so number 4, the 4th song is Dreams by the Cranberries. I love the Cranberries, they're such a good band. I feel like a lot of their songs evoke that feeling of like a nice summer or spring day. So the lyrics are, oh, my life is changing every day, in every possible way. And oh, my dreams, it's never quite as it seems. Never quite as it seems. I know I felt like this before, but now I'm feeling it even more, because it came from you. And I open up and see the person falling here is me, a different way to be. Again, another romantically inclined song. This song always reminds me of the rolling fields and beautiful weather. I feel like this song could portray, if you choose to look at it that way, it's very much a pining song. I feel like he'd be the type to be really shy about his feelings and never say anything, especially knowing that Samwise is very much interested in Rosie Cotton, which Frodo knows about because he tries to help him get together with her. So the 5th song I have is Like Ships by the Blasting Company. Now, if you don't know this song was in Over the Garden Wall, which I will talk about a little bit because there's a few songs from Over the Garden Wall in this playlist. The lyrics are, here we are, the two of us, like ships upon a winding river, and yet somehow we found each other like strangers, you and I. Now, the reason why this song specifically is on this playlist, honestly, is just because the person who sings the song is Elijah Wood. He plays the character of Wirt in Over the Garden Wall, and he's also Frodo's live-action actor in the movies. And I thought it would be cute. I thought it would be like a fun little thing to add in there. But I also think that the lyrics still make sense with... I feel like I picked a lot of these songs to kind of evoke that feeling of like folklore or like the feeling of dancing and being merry at like parties, because hobbits love doing that stuff. Like, I just feel like it fits well with like I could see them like walking around in Hobbiton and singing like a little ditty, you know what I mean? And this is one of those songs. I feel like it would be a very cute like duet two people would just be singing. The song also of course has romantic undertones, which again I think just works well in the favor of Samwise and Frodo's relationship. So the 6th song I have is Strawberry Blonde by Mitski, and I do have to do a disclaimer for this. I did not write this down, but I've got it So I did some research into the song because when I originally put this on in 2020, this was a huge song during the pandemic and stuff like that. And since then, a lot of people have kind of been like, because people back then were kind of parodying the song a lot. And I just want to say, for a disclaimer, I do not mean this in any ill intent to change the original meaning of the song. A lot of like women of color especially have said that this song is, you know, created for them. It's about you know, especially like Asian women like trying to fit in with European beauty standards. And I couldn't find anything from Mitski that said that. I was trying to do some research into it to see, like, because I didn't want to come across as like taking away the original meaning, but a lot of people have said that, and I just want to say that, like, when I'm talking about the song in the context of how I originally thought of it for this playlist, I mean no ill harm and would never take away from the original intention. So I hope this isn't rude to put that on here. But I feel like since it's a piece of art, a lot of people will interpret it differently, but I would never take away that original intention from it. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's very much about a relationship that just does not go both ways. So the lyrics I have are pretty much, I think like most of them actually. This whole song is pretty good for this. I love everybody because I love you. When you stood up, walked away barefoot, and the grass where you lay left a bed in your shape, I looked over it and I ached. I love everybody because I love you. I don't need the city and I don't need proof. All I need, darling, is a life in your shape. I picture it soft and I ache. Look at you, strawberry blonde. Reach out the car window, trying to hold the wind. You tell me you love her, I give you a grin. Oh, all I ever wanted was a life in your shape. So I follow the white lines, keep my eyes on the road as I ache. Look at you, strawberry blonde, fields rolling on, I love it when you call my name. Can you hear the bumblebees swarm, watching your arm, I love it when you look my way. A lot of the lyrics after that are just repetitive, so I'm not going to repeat any, I'm going to try not to repeat as many lyrics as possible during this. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, if you choose to see Sam and Frodo as romantic, I feel like the song works really well, again, in the context of Sam pining after Rosie the whole time in the series, and Frodo absolutely knowing that and, like, still having feelings for him. I also imagine the bits where the fields are being described is Frodo finally remembering the Shire at the end when the ring is destroyed. This is one of those songs where I kind of picture it could kind of work for the whole series, where it's like kind of the whole adventure. I had a whole animatic idea in my head, but I haven't been able to finish it. I have one bit of it done and I've never finished it. Reach out the car window, trying to hold the wind. You tell me you love her, I give you a grin. I like to imagine they're on the journey together and Sam is like talking about Rosie, trying to make himself feel better, and Frodo is just like, yep, of course, like, you love her. And I feel like that works really well, knowing that in the beginning of the movie he's like trying to kind of wingman with him. I feel like he cares so much about him, he wants him to like go after her, you know what I mean? Seventh song is Soldier Poet King by the Oh Hellos. We all know the song. This is like the fantasy song. I feel like everybody uses it for like fantasy settings. It's perfect for it. It is a song about Jesus Christ, interestingly enough. It's a Christian song. So specifically the poet verse. There will come a poet whose weapon is his word. He will slay you with his tongue. Olay, olay, O Lord. This is another folklore type of song to me. It screams that very much like they would be singing it on the road. The soldier can be many characters. Boromir, Faramir, Eowyn, Merry, Pippin. I always say Eowyn's name wrong. I feel like I'm mispronouncing it all the time. The E and the O mix me up, man. The king, of course, could be Aragorn, or there's many rulers in Lord of the Rings. You can really pick your poison here. In my opinion, Frodo fits the poet very well. He's definitely the type to convince people with his words. I think specifically when Faramir took him and Sam and Smeagol to Gondor, and he kind of convinces Faramir to let them go. He has a way with, and when Smeagol, of course, like, before the miscommunication of that, he's able to kind of get Smeagol on their side. I just feel like he has a way with people, even though he doesn't have to, like, do, like, these big hope speeches. I feel like Sam's actually the one to really do the big hope speeches, but I feel like Frodo does have a way with having people, like, surround him in that way. I feel like he's definitely more of the poet type, and he's a writer. I mean, he wrote Lord of the Rings, like his story at the end of it. So I just feel like writer suits him very well. Number 8 is another Over the Garden Wall song. You'll see a pattern here. This is Patient is the Night, also by the Blasting Company. Among the fields and straw and stover, clocked in till the workday is over. Time's a gentle stream, longer than it seems. Patient is the night. How I long to see her face now, her starry moonlit gaze now. I know she's never late, still anxiously I wait. Patient is the night. This is another song that reminds me of folklore songs. Another song that displays what a daily hobbit life would be like. Folk working in the field or garden or farm and then coming back to their houses, to their families or their spouses. Why did I Dr. Seuss that? There's also this feeling of anxiety behind the song. To me, this gives the listener a feeling that not everything is as it seems, and it isn't since Frodo has inherited the ring. It's kind of like a foreshadowing feeling to me. Over the Garden Wall is very, very interesting in that where like there's a lot of this overarching shadow, and I feel like that works really well with, again, him inheriting the ring. Like there's this foreboding feeling to it. Is it better down here? I feel like we're making better eye contact when the camera's down here. Is this better? I'm also really bad with the eye contact with the camera, so. Okay, so we've got song number 9, Scarborough Fair. Scarborough Fair. Specifically, I like the Dan Avidan and Super Guitar Bros version, but like there's been so many covers of the song, it's pretty old. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt on the side of a hill in the deep forest green, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, tracing a sparrow on snow-crusted ground. Without no seams nor needlework, blankets and bedclothes the children of the mountain, then she'll be a true love of mine. Sleeps unaware of the clarion call. Tell her to find me an acre of land, on the side of a hill, a sprinkling of leaves, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, washes the grave with silvery tears. Between the saltwater and the sea strands, a soldier cleans and polishes a gun, then she'll be a true love of mine. Okay, so this is a big one, so excuse me while I read this passage real quick. Scarborough Fair was a real event that took place in northern Yorkshire, England, in the Middle Ages. The herbs all listed continuously in the song have historical significance. Parsley took away bitterness. Sage represents strength and wisdom. Rosemary symbolizes memory and faithfulness. Thyme was for courage. This song feels like a folklore song once again. It has lamenting overtones as there's a war going on. There's lyrics of washing a grave with silvery tears, a soldier cleans and polishes a gun. There's a lot of death going on, there's a lot of fighting, which I think is very apropos for what's going to happen in the story, and also considering Isildur's war before. I feel like it's very much a song that could be in the context of the story. I feel like it's something they could sing. And also considering the fact that they're talking about a fair that's going on that could have very easily been in any like castle town in Middle Earth, or it could just be the Shire, just like an open marketplace. Okay, song number 10 is Honeybee by Steam Powered Giraffe. I love this song, it's so good. I also would like to just point out that earlier in Strawberry Blonde there was the imagery of the honeybee, and now, or bumblebee rather, and now we've got honeybee in this song. You didn't have to say my name, ignite my circuits, and start a flame, but you did. Oh, turpentine, erase me whole, 'cause I don't want to live my life alone. Well, I was waiting for you all my life. Hello, goodbye, 'twas nice to know you, how I find myself without you. Hello, goodbye, I'm rather crazy, and I never thought I was crazy. This song is just a very romantic song, but it's self-indulgent for me. The song really highlights the relationship that could be one-sided, or if you think of both of them singing at different points of the song, it's effective. The song feels like devotion that is fleeting, as one party must say goodbye, as Frodo must do to Sam. This is, especially like later in the song, this is very much the feeling of what happens at the end of the series, but I feel like this is a very good beginning song for the feeling of, again, just like something that you could see like on a nice summer spring day, like something just very beautiful with the imagery of the Shire. So that's why it's so high up on the list here. Okay, so I forgot to section these off. So that was part 1. That was before the ring. I forgot to I organized this so nicely, and yet I forgot to do that. So this is part 2. This is the Fellowship of the Ring. This is when the Fellowship begins to form, and this is when they have the plan to go to Mordor all together. Song 11, Over the Garden Wall by the Blasting Company. This is our third and final Over the Garden Wall song. At night when the lake is a mirror and the moon rides the waves to the shore, a single soul sets his voice singing, content to be slightly forlorn. A song rises over the lilies, sweeps high to clear over the reeds, and over the bulrushes swaying to pluck at a pair of heartstrings. 2 voices now they are singing, then 10 as the melody soars. Round the shimmering pond all are joining in song as it carries their reverie on. Over the treetops and mountains, over the blackened ravines, then softly it falls by a house near a stream. There was a little bit more, I don't know why I just didn't put the whole song, but that's okay. So, Frodo's feelings of loneliness are evident during the whole journey, because that is his destiny as a ring bearer. He is content to be slightly forlorn. He decides that this is his destiny, it's fine. However, almost immediately, Samwise gets thrown into the mix because Gandalf just grabs him and he's like, you're coming with it. Samwise and Frodo are the to pluck at a pair of heartstrings, 2 voices now they are singing, and then 10 as the melody soars. That's the entire Fellowship, including Elrond, because we need a 10th. There's only 9 people in the Fellowship. Isn't that interesting? That's kind of funny. And also the feeling of, over the treetops and mountains, over the blackened ravines. I feel like that's just, where they travel. It's just very much evokes the feeling of traveling. Song number 10, or 12, I can't read. Song number 12, so the next 3 songs, this one and the next 2, are Cosmo Sheldrake songs. I don't know why in 2020 I decided to put them all together like this, but I think it works really well anyway, so whatever. So this is the Tardigrade song by Cosmo Sheldrake. If I were a tardigrade, I'd move out from home. Why live in the shrubbery when you could have a throne? Pressure wouldn't squash me, and fire couldn't burn. These are the things I never will learn. I live in the shrubbery, for that's all I crave. I don't want these excitements to send me to my grave. I can live life in vacuums for years with no drink, and put up with hardships more than you can think. For I am a tardigrade, and I'll stay at home. I'd not trade it for anything, not a knife, a cup, or a throne. Well, all I want is my shrubbery and my little patch of moss. Okay. So the thing about tardigrades are they can die, but they are able to survive very intense environments. They have extreme adaptation skills. In the story, over and over again, Gandalf refers to hobbits as being very amazing creatures. They are able to do these amazing feats that people don't expect them to because they are just little guys, I guess. The hobbits may stay in the Shire and not really interfere with outside affairs, but Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin are shown to be extremely adaptive in their circumstance. Frodo specifically is interested in the affairs going on the outside of the Shire, but once he gets swept up into it, he realizes he loved home and wished the ring had never come to him in the first place. There's those lyrics of, I live in the shrubbery, for that's all I crave. I don't want these excitements to send me to my grave. He doesn't want this adventure to kill him. He doesn't want to go to an early death because of this adventure he got swept up on. He always wanted to go on an adventure, but now that he knows how dangerous it is, he doesn't really want to be the ring bearer. He doesn't really want to have to do this. Number 13 is Come Along by Cosmo Sheldrake. This is another idea of another folk song, this one and the next one. Come, 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 come along now, run away from the humdrum. We'll go to a place that is safe from greed, anger, and boredom. We'll dance and sing till sundown and feast with abandon. We'll sleep when the morning comes and we'll rise by the sound of the bird songs. We'll be here when the world slows down and the sunbeams fade away, keeping time by a pendulum as the fabric starts to fray. There's no such thing as time to kill or time to throw away. So once for the bright sky, twice for the pigsty, thrice for another day. It's, this one's not particularly related, but I feel like it's a song that they would, like, specifically Merry and Pippin, I could see them just, like, singing this around, and having everybody kind of join in. The singer beckons others to join them as they escape beyond the mundane. This, specifically, to me, is, again, the feeling of Frodo wanting to know what's going on outside the Shire. They want to explore outside their home. This is the third Cosmo Sheldrake song. We've got number 14, The Moss. Legend has it that the moss grows on the north side of the trees. Well, legend has it that when the rain comes down, all the worms come up to breathe. Well, legend has it when the sunbeams come, all the plants, they eat them with their leaves. Well, legend has it that the world spins round on an axis of 23 degrees. But have you heard the story of the rabbit in the moon, or the cow that hopped the planets while straddling a spoon, or she who leapt on mountains while listening up a tune, and swapped her songs with swallows while riding on a broom? Oh my god, this one's so hard to say out loud. I feel like a tongue twister. So the interesting thing about this song, again, another folklore-esque song, is that Cosmo Sheldrake is stating facts, but saying it in a very, like, legend sort of way. Like, he's saying, like, these aren't true. Like, that's folklore. But they are true statements. But he's saying it like the leaves are eating the sunbeams. They're really not. They're absorbing the sun. They're photosynthesizing. The worms are coming up to breathe when really they just don't want to be in, you know, the wet soil. Like, these are true statements technically, but he's saying them kind of in a weird way. But then he's listing actual folklore. He's listing songs that are, rather stories that are actual legend that did not happen. And I think that's really interesting. This also just reminds me of the hobbits, like, specifically, like, a lot of the hobbits are interested, or rather, like, Sam and Frodo are very interested in, like, the lives of the elves. Like, a lot of stuff that they thought may have been legend turned out to be real. Just, you know, things you hear outside of home and you don't know how true they are. Number 15 is Ribs by Lorde. This dream isn't feeling sweet, we're reeling through the midnight streets, and I've never felt more alone, feel so scary getting old. And then we jump down to, I want him back. Okay, so this part of the song goes back and forth, that's why it's included. I want him back, the minds we had, how all the thoughts moved around our heads. I want him back, the minds we had, it's not enough to feel the lack. I want him back. You're the only friend I need, sharing beds like little kids, and laughing till our ribs get tough, but that will never be enough. It's like a conversation. This song highlights nostalgia and the loneliness that you feel when you get older, even when surrounded by others. Frodo has a whole slew of people who decide to accompany him with the destruction of the ring, which is fantastic. But he knows he must accomplish this alone, especially after talking to Galadriel. He wants his old life back again and not burdened with this task. But he appointed himself to it and must see it to the end. When he realizes Samwise will still go all the way to Mordor with him even after he leaves, we can feel this back and forth through the song, you're the only friend I need. Specifically the lyrics of, but that will never be enough, harks to me of the feeling that he gets knowing that this task will most likely claim his life, and knowing that no matter what he really does, he's not going back to that old life. Number 16 is Home by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. This is a great song. Alabama, Arkansas, I do love my ma and pa, but not the way that I do love you. Well, holy moly, me oh my, you're the apple of my eye, girl, I never loved one like you. Man oh man, you're my best friend, I scream it to the nothingness, there ain't nothing that I need. Well, hot and heavy, pumpkin pie, chocolate candy, Jesus Christ, ain't nothing please me more than you. Oh, home, let me come home, home is wherever I'm with you. I'll follow you into the park, through the jungle, through the dark, girl, I never loved one like you. Moats and boats and waterfalls, alleyways and payphone calls, I've been everywhere with you. Laugh until we think we'll die, barefoot on a summer night, never could be sweeter than with you. And in the streets you run a free, like it's only you and me, geez, you're something to see. So this song is a duet. Every verse that I said is basically a back and forth between the narrators and their couple. This is another song that to me is like very much domestic hobbit life. There's a conversation in the song, and I didn't want to write all of it out because it was going to be long, but there's a conversation in the song where the male singer is basically like, hey, do you remember that time you jumped out of a window? And she's like, yes, I remember, you came jumping out after me. And he said, yeah, well, when you fell off and we were driving you to the hospital, I was falling very much in love with you in that moment, and I never told you until just now. And I think it's just such a sweet moment between the singers, and I feel like it's perfect for them. I feel like for Sam and Frodo, especially like just knowing the journey they went through, like Sam literally is following him into hell, basically. He's following him into Mordor. One does not simply walk into Mordor. He even says in the books, like, he's like, I don't care if he goes to the moon, I'm going with him. There's also the lines of, I'll follow you into the park, through the jungle, through the dark. Okay, song 17. That Green Gentleman, Things Have Changed for Me by Panic at the Disco. Things are shaping up to be pretty odd. Little deaths and musical beds, so it seems I'm someone I've never met. Things have changed for me, and that's okay. I feel the same, I'm on my way, and I say, things have changed for me, and that's okay. I want to go where everyone goes. I want to know what everyone knows. I want to go where everyone feels the same. I never said I'd leave the city. I never said I'd leave this town. A falling out we won't tiptoe about. This journey is shaping up to be something very unexpected. Frodo feels like himself still, thankfully, but it feels like this journey will change him. He still feels like himself. The ring isn't really corrupting him yet. These lyrics once hark to the feeling he has of wanting to explore outside of his home once again, but not wanting to leave home. I want to go where everyone goes. I want to know what everyone knows. I never said I'd leave the city. I never said I'd leave the Shire. Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. Oh, what does he say? Oh my gosh, hi buddy! Hello! Oh my gosh, my doggy! Come here! Oh, you're so good. You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi? Oh, hello! Oh! Is your ear itchy? I know. You can get down. You want some help? Okay, you got it. You want some company? You can stay up here with me. That was my doggy. I don't know why he came up here. That's so silly. Anyway, so Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. So this song to me feels like when they're in the mines and Gandalf sacrifices himself. The moments where he's having a conversation with Frodo. Frodo's talking about Gollum, and you know, he's saying like, oh god, I wish the ring had never come to me. And Gandalf is like, yeah, well of course, everybody wishes that didn't happen. Everybody always wishes that, like, people who live in these times, like, of course they don't want to see this happen, but you know, we just have to do what we can with the time we have. And I think that's just such a great moment. I feel like Frodo not even knowing if Gandalf is alive after that, and he still pushes through, like, with his words in his head. Like, I just think it's so beautiful. And he doesn't even know he's still alive after that. Or, I guess, like, resurrects. Carry on, my wayward son, for there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear the voices when I'm dreaming. I can hear them say. I also feel like Gandalf harbors some guilt for everything that happened with Saruman. Because he almost gets killed by him, and I feel like he probably feels like a fool after that. He probably has some resentment over what occurred, and he probably you know, feels like a blind man. Like, he probably feels like he's a fool for not realizing sooner that his friend would have betrayed him. I also feel like the voices would be when Frodo is looking back on Gandalf's wise words, quite like what I was saying earlier. Like, I feel like he would look back to channel his voice every time he needed a push in the right direction. We now have part 3, Leaving the Fellowship. So the first song I have on here is another Mitski song, but this song is very romantic, and I don't mean it in a romantic sense, because that's not the point I'm trying to get across with this song. But I have put Nobody by Mitski on here. This is one of those songs where I feel like it's very much a breakdown song, and I'll get to that. And I don't want your pity, I just want somebody near me. Guess I'm a coward, I just want to feel alright. I know no one will save me. Nobody. Frodo finally decides to go to Mordor alone and heed Galadriel's advice. She told him Boromir would bring down the Fellowship, and after an encounter with him, Frodo realizes once and for all that he must break from them. This song descends into just the words nobody over and over and over again. To me, this highlights Frodo's creeping anxieties of truly having to face this alone. He knows it's for the best, but part of him can't help but want some sort of companionship. With that being said, so song 20 is Trouble by Cage the Elephant. Got so much to lose, got so much to prove, God don't let me lose my mind. Trouble on my left, trouble on my right, I've been facing trouble almost all my life. My sweet love, won't you pull me through? Everywhere I look I catch a glimpse of you. I said it was love and I did it for life, didn't do it for you. Will it come to pass or will I pass the test? You know what they say, the wicked get no rest. You can have my heart any place, any time. As for Saul, he knows that if he fails, Middle Earth and his home are doomed. He has everything to lose. He also knows that this task should claim his life and most likely his sanity, hence losing his mind. He's being chased constantly by the Nazgul and trouble is following him everywhere he goes. I feel the line, my sweet love, won't you pull me through, is a double entendre. There's the moment where Frodo pulls Sam out of the river when Sam is first following him after he decides to depart from the Fellowship, and then there's the part which I believe only happens in the movies, but there's the part where Frodo is falling off the cliff face of Mount Doom and Sam tries to grab him there as well. I love those parallels with them and I use that a lot in this. Sam also tries to pull Frodo out of mental anguish a lot, not just the physicality of falling off into a crevice or anything, but he also tries to pull him out of his mental state, out of his manipulation of the ring. Song number 21, I also think this song is very, very, very good for Sam and Frodo. Two Birds by Regina Spektor. Now this is like a shifting POV thing, but I'll read the lyrics out. Two birds on a wire, one tries to fly away and the other watches him close from that wire. He said he wants to as well, but he is a liar. I'll believe it all, there's nothing I won't understand. I'll believe it all, I won't let go of your hand. Two birds on a wire, one says come on and the other says, I'm tired. The sky is overcast and I'm sorry. One more or one less, nobody's worried. I'll believe it all, there's nothing I won't understand. I'll believe it all, I won't let go of your hand. Two birds of a feather say that they're always gonna stay together, but one's never going to let go of that wire. He says that he will, but he's just a liar. Two birds on a wire, one tries to fly away and the other. The POV starts sort of switch between both of them. Where in the beginning, Frodo is the one trekking out on the journey and Gandalf assigns Sam to go with him. Sam is very nervous. He keeps mentioning, this is the farthest I've been from home. He has a lot of like quips he's saying, like you can tell he's nervous about going. One says come on and the other says I'm tired. The sky is overcast and I'm sorry. That's kind of showing where the exhaustion is finally hitting him. Now, of course, the wire in the song is the ring. Frodo's never going to physically let himself let go of that wire. He gets to the end of his journey and he claims it for himself. He doesn't actually let go of it. The only reason it gets thrown in really is because of Smeagol. The last lines and the abrupt end kind of just reminds me of when Frodo leaves at the end. Song 22! Too Much Love Will Kill You by Queen. So we're in Two Towers territory now. This song to me is when Frodo decides to empathize with Smeagol and how it kind of backfires with him in the end. I'm just the pieces of the man I used to be. Too many bitter tears are raining down on me. I'm far away from home and I've been facing this alone for much too long. I feel like no one ever told the truth to me about growing up and what a struggle it would be. In my tangled state of mind, I'm looking back to find where I went wrong. Too much love will kill you, and if you can't make up your mind, torn between the lover and the love you leave behind. You're heading for disaster because you never read the signs. Too much love will kill you every time. I'm just a shadow of the man I used to be, and it seems like there's no way out of this for me. I used to bring you sunshine, now all I ever do is bring you down. How would it be if you were standing in my shoes? Can't you see it's impossible to choose? There's no making sense of it. Everywhere I go, I'm bound to lose. Too much love will kill you, just as sure as none at all. It'll drain the power that's in you, make you plead and scream and crawl, and the pain will make you crazy. You're the victim of your crime. Too much love will kill you every time. Frodo has so much empathy for Gollum, or Smeagol, which I'll probably be referring to him from now on as, because he knows this could happen to him. He knows he could turn into Smeagol, or rather Gollum, at any time. He knows that if he holds onto the ring for too long, that's the creature he will become. He defends Smeagol constantly and places his trust in the creature. This ends up almost killing him at the end of the journey. Frodo also at this point is losing himself in the ring's influence. There's no way out of this for me, again harks back to the idea of him not making it home from the journey. Because he used to bring Sam a lot more happiness, he used to be a lot more happy as a person. He used to bring him sunshine, but now all he ever does is bring him down. Song 23, Hidden in the Sand by Tally Hall. Now this song to me, oh, I cannot wait to dive into this one. It's perfect for Lord of the Rings. We were playing in the sand, and you found a little band. You told me you fell in love with it, hadn't gone as I planned. When you had to bid adieu, said you never love anew, I wondered if I could hold it and fall in love with it too. Ooh, I'm about to tear this apart. This song is what happened to Smeagol and Deagle. Is that how you say his name, Deagle? I'm gonna say Deagle, because I feel like it's supposed to rhyme. In the beginning of Return to the King, we see Smeagol's backstory. We as an audience know that he used to be a hobbit, but we didn't know the full extent of what happened. Him and his cousin Deagle were fishing. A particularly big fish takes Deagle's bait and starts to drag him away in the water. While under, Deagle spots something shiny in the sand. The One Ring. A band. He immediately falls in love with the band. Smeagol catches back up with him after he emerges from the water. The ring catches Smeagol's eye as well and asks Deagle for it as a present. The two fight over the ring and Smeagol ends up killing Deagle over it. Then Smeagol ends up the owner and falls in love with the ring. That is quite literally what happens in the song. It's actually insane to me how accurate it is. I don't know how much more I can describe. He kills him when you had to bid adieu, said you never love anew. I wondered if I could hold it and fall in love with it too. And he found the band in the sand. It's a band is it's so perfect. It's so good. Song 24 is Northern Downpour by Panic at the Disco. If all our life is but a dream, fantastic posing greed, then we should feed our jewelry to the sea. For diamonds do appear to be just like broken glass to me. And then she said she can't believe genius only comes along in storms of fabled foreign tongues. Tripping eyes and flooded lungs, Northern Downpour sends its love. Hey moon, please forget to fall down. Hey moon, don't you go down. Sugarcane in the easy morning, weather vanes, my one and lonely. Frodo's end goal is to feed his jewelry to the fiery seas of Mordor. And the jewelry itself makes the hearts of man very greedy, therefore it must be cast into the fire. Elves are the wisest of creatures in Middle-earth and speak a foreign tongue, Elvish. I feel like the line of, storms of fabled foreign tongues, like, that kind of harks back again to the hobbits thinking about elves and the other creatures that live outside the Shire. Northern Downpour to me evokes a sense of bittersweet sadness, tears even. When the moon falls, the next day must come. One day closer to the end goal, one day closer to death. One day closer to the dark. Song 25, Dead Weight by Jack Stauber. I love what I can't see, what's expected of you, what's expected of me. Now it's 2:45. Let it all get away. Oh, what the hell can I do? To fill the pages, meet the strangers, kiss the girl, take it in, feel the ages. But it's also good to let up. Dead weight. The term dead weight could be used to describe an oppressive or heavy burden, aka the ring. This works as well if you subscribe to the idea of Frodo feeling like dead weight himself, dragging himself to Mordor. Frodo knows there's a lot of expectation riding on his shoulders, as well as Sam's. He never seemed to worry about fitting into the mold as he expected to be at home. Like, a lot of people thought he was a little weird, again, wanting to see what the outside world is kind of like. He kind of always had this feeling of wanderlust, and hobbits don't really have that typically, so he was kind of seen as like a freak a little bit. That is kind of a part of the song with the lines, what the hell can I do to fill the pages, meet the strangers, kiss the girl, take it in, feel the ages. That's like societal expectations. So in Hobbit culture, technically him and Bilbo were kind of not fitting into some of the molds of that. Song number 26 is I Can't Handle Change by Roar. I know we're going back to TikTok 2020 over here, but I swear this is why I'm making the video, because there are reasons why I have these songs on here. Some of them were on here for nostalgic purposes because I put them on in 2020, but I always feel like even then I was kind of like particular about what I put on here. Hanging out where I don't belong is nothing new to me. I get tired and I get sick and then I lose the strength to leave. I can't handle change. I can't handle change. Nothing I do is ever good. Nothing I do is ever good enough. Leave me alone. I can't help but repeat myself. I know it's not your fault. Still lately I begin to shake for no reason at all. This song always reads to me as extreme sadness mixed with anxiety. There's a force that makes the narrator feel like they're doing something wrong and cannot do anything right. Kind of reads to me as the manipulation of the ring. The narrator is having a hard time with a huge adjustment, as Frodo is with his burden. He feels no matter what he does or is doing, it will never be enough. The repetition of the song reads to me as anxiety manifesting for him. He tries to remind himself that he is not quite himself, but it is a hard force to handle. Number 27, Breeze Blocks by Alt J. So this song to me is another back and forth kind of song. So I'm gonna read these, but they're very repetitive, so strap in. Please don't go, please don't go. I love you so, I love you so. Please don't go, please don't go. I love you so, I love you so. Please break my heart. Please don't go, I'll eat you whole. I love you so, I love you so. Please don't go, I'll eat you whole. I love you so, I love you so, I love you so. So I specifically did these lyrics. The whole song evokes a lot of violence born from love. So it's very much this song that's about a person who's like very obsessed with the other person, that they like want to harm them, which does kind of work in the context of Two Towers, because Frodo does go off the deep end where he tries to hurt Sam with Sting. But I like to just use that part of the song, like the back and forth conversation, as Frodo's mind going back and forth on what to do. Song number 28 is Torture by Less Friction. I hear nobody ever talk about the song. I don't even remember how I found it, but I love this song, and I think it's very fitting for Frodo's feelings on Sauron. Savor the time and the trouble, just leave me trapped in the maze. I'll live and die in this bubble, but I'll never give in to your torturous way. Oh, I cower when you're near. It's torture, torture. Never considered it futile to carry the weight of your pain, a gift conceived by angels, dark blessings offered in vain. It's torture, I cower when you're near. It's torture, the scars will never fear. The horror, your soul so bleak I chilled. It's torture, I can't stop what can't be killed. Whenever he wears the ring, Sauron is there watching. There's nothing between them. Frodo cowers before him. He carries the weight of everyone with him as long as he has the ring. Sauron really cannot be killed. His physical body is killed by Isildur, but he lived on. Their only hope is for the ring to be destroyed. I feel like this whole song is very much does a good job of just like having an oppressive force. I think you're just so small compared to it, you know? So now we're getting into part 4. This is Mordor. So we're getting there. We're about halfway through the playlist now. First song I have on here is song 29, Self-Esteem by AJJ. This place has taken all my self-esteem, and everybody is afraid of me, and I can't make eye contact with anyone I see. This place is taking all my self-esteem, and people freak me out, people make me scared, people make me so damn self-aware. And I'm a liar and I'm a thief, taking things from those better than me, a pathetic little man with some pathetic little dream. I hope you all can forgive me. Mordor has taken everything from Frodo. The closer he gets, the more exhausted and more of a toll the ring is taking on his mind and body. Smeagol often refers to the person who stole the ring from him as a liar and a thief, and I think it's kind of funny to just have like a nod to that. I don't think Frodo would think that he is better than Smeagol, because he technically didn't take it either. It was Bilbo. Song number 30 is Pavlov by Fall Out Boy. This is a very underrated Fall Out Boy song, and what's fun about the title of this one is it's based on the scientist Pavlov, but it has the word love in it as well. It's about being addicted to a feeling, and I think that's very apropos for the ring. Something make my chest stir, something make my head blur. I'm not ready for a handshake with death, no. I'm just such a happy mess, whoa. I want to make you as lonely as me so you can get addicted to this. You can get addicted to this now. And I forgot to include, I'm so silly, I forgot to include a lyric as well. There's also lyrics for the song that's, I'm the invisible man who can't stop staring at the mirror. And I think that's funny because he turns invisible and he puts the ring on. How could I forget to put that in here? So I already explained the pun with the title, but basically Frodo starts getting consumed by the ring, getting obsessed and falling in love with it. He's looking at it a lot more, like he's not sleeping as much. His mind is starting to only really think about the ring, and I feel like this song really highlights the obsessive nature of wanting to get addicted to something like that, and especially like the lines of, I want to make you as lonely as me, because the ring is kind of taking all of his human qualities away from him. I feel like it's making him not really want to think about anybody else except for the ring. Like, it's erasing that part of him. Song number 31 is Stranded Lullaby by Miracle Musical. I don't know why I didn't write the artist here. I have 2 Miracle Musical songs right in a row. I don't know why I kept putting these together. They don't like flow, so I don't know what my deal is. Anchorless and unmoored, set amiss, awake would only prove the fantasy made lucid sense. Sail on, I'd like to know why you were all alone while I'm lost at sea. Maybe we'll be there when you want. There's a still tension in the swell, so given to the vast receiving emptiness of time, beyond, I'd like to know why you were all alone, while I, you're unsure if I am, a loose end or a strand, that waits for you to mend or understand. I feel as if the song describes, at least in the movies, when Frodo makes Sam leave, and after getting in Shelob's lair, Frodo is left utterly alone. Like, it's just that feeling of realizing what he's done. He like regrets it. And, you know, interestingly enough, I think it's interesting that in the movie they decided to separate those two, because in the book they don't. The song does a great job of feeling lonely and isolating. Frodo's lost in her lair in the dark until he uses the light gifted to him from Galadriel. So it's not only that his mind is getting lost on him, he's lost his companions because he drove Sam away and Smeagol left him at Shelob's lair. So now he's just utterly alone. Okay. Song 32, again, is a Miracle Musical song, Dream Suite in C major. This is a beautiful song, and I will get to some of it in a bit because I do want to explain a little bit of why the song's on here. I'm going to do that for all of them, but I have like a little bit more to say about this. Alone at the edge of the universe, humming a tune, for merely dreaming we were snow. A siren sounds like the goddess who promises endless apologies of paradise, and only she can make it right, so things are different tonight. We'll go together in flight. It's now or never, a reverie endeavor. Awaits some somnambulant directives to take the helm. Joy Mirage's kingdom come, no one left at stake. Now the existence is on the wake, let's see what we can make. The part is wholly ending, a line in any final song, so long, so far. We will be atoning, at last eternal, through the past, above a blinding star. So upon revising this playlist and revisiting it, not all of the songs were super fitting, so I did remove some of them. There were some things left over from a time when I feel like I had a good grasp of it, but there was definitely a few where I was like, I could do without this. Some of these don't make sense. They're a little hypocritical. This song is just really long, and it has like 4 different feelings in it. Now, I just included the parts that I thought like made sense to me at the time when I added it on. But not all of it is fitting, so I feel like when people listen to the song, I want them to know that not the whole song, I don't think the whole song belongs on here, but I can't really split up a song. I imagine specifically the beginning part is the scene where Frodo comes out of Shelob's lair and he kind of passes out for a moment. This is before she stings him, and he ends up in front of Galadriel, and she gives him that final push to go to Mordor, to go to Mount Doom. She tells him to carry on, and he gets back up, and then he gets stung by Shelob. Rest in peace. But I feel like that part is the beginning lyricism with the a siren sounds like the goddess who promises endless apologies of paradise, and only she can make it right, so things are different tonight. She's not a siren, but she does have this intimidating presence of like when I first was watching Fellowship of the Ring, I kind of thought, like, is she dangerous? And, like, she kind of had that edge of being dangerous, like, when Frodo offers her the ring, and she says, like, she could become a Dark Queen. But everybody's like that. Everybody is tempted by the ring, so, like, I'm not really, you know. But I thought that was interesting, and I think that, like, she could be seen as a siren, especially how beautiful she is. Endless apologies of paradise, so things are different tonight. Like, just keep going. If you make it out of this, you can go to elf heaven, brother. Okay, song 20, I can't read. Song 33 is Youth by Daughter. Shadows settle on the place that you left. Our minds are troubled by the emptiness. Destroy the middle, it's a waste of time. From the perfect start to the finish line. And if you're still breathing, you're the lucky one. Because most of us are heaving through corrupted lungs. And if you're still bleeding, you're the lucky ones, because most of our feelings, they are dead and they are gone. We're setting fire to our insides for fun, collecting pictures from a flood that wrecked our home. And if you're in love, then you are the lucky one, because most of us are bitter over someone, setting fire to our insides for fun, to distract our hearts from ever missing them. But I'm forever missing him. Woo! After getting stung by Shelob, Frodo passes out. Sam comes back to rescue him and defeat Shelob. Orcs come by and take Frodo, remarking that he is still alive and breathing. Frodo wakes up as he's carried to an orc base in Mordor. Frodo, at this point, feels very defeated. He's tied up. Some of his friends are dead or missing in action. He doesn't know if they're dead or alive. He basically is lamenting the fact that he left Sam behind, at least in the movies. He's very upset with himself. That's kind of like the point where, you know, they're bitter over someone. I'm forever missing him. He's scared that he's lost him forever at this point, but now he's got to see through to the end. But he can't even get up out of this orc base because now he's all tied up until Sam comes to rescue him. The orcs fight amongst themselves. Meanwhile, Sam comes back to rescue Frodo and give him back the ring. Frodo apologizes to Sam for everything. Song 34, Bottom of the River by Delta Ray. Now, this one was not my original idea. This was one of my mutuals. They're a great Samwise cosplayer. They used this song like 4 years ago for Sam and Frodo, and I think it's wonderful for them. Shouts out to Fish. And if you fall, hold my hand, ooh baby, it's a long way down to the bottom of the river. Hold my hand, ooh baby, it's a long way down, a long way down. So the song is very repetitive, so I didn't put a lot of lyrics in, but it once again reminds me of the parallel between Sam, or rather Frodo rescuing Sam from the river, from drowning, and Sam rescuing Frodo from falling into Mount Doom. We're not quite there yet, but I did just like to include this here because it also works well with them climbing to Mount Doom, like walking through Mordor, and Frodo is struggling very hard, and Sam eventually carries him because he can't do it anymore. Okay. Song 35, Somewhere Only We Know by Keen. I love this song in the context of what I'm going to be talking about. This whole song is pretty much perfect for them, to be honest, or for Frodo, for the scene. So I'm just gonna go at it. I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. I felt the earth beneath my feet. I sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. I came across a fallen tree. I felt the branches of it looking at me. Is this the place we used to love? Is this the place that I've been dreaming of? Oh, excuse me. Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Oh man. Now this song to me is perfect for the moment Frodo can no longer move. Sam tries to reminisce with Frodo about the Shire. It's somewhere only they know, and he's trying to evoke the feeling of their home back in Frodo, but Frodo cannot for the life of him remember any of it. It's even focused on like a woodsy area with rivers, and I just thought that was perfect for evoking the feeling of their home. I just think it's such a poignant moment. Like, I just think these lyrics match so well with the idea of Sam trying to reminisce with him and trying to get him to still be himself in those moments. Song 36, Green Eyes by Coldplay. Honey, you are a rock upon which I stand, and I come here to talk, I hope you understand. The green eyes, yeah, the spotlight shines upon you, and how could anybody deny you? I came here with a load, and it feels so much lighter now I met you. And honey, you should know that I could never go on without you. Green eyes. Honey, you are the sea upon which I float, and I came here to talk, I think you should know. Sam is Frodo's rock, no matter how you view the relationship. This is just true. Frodo could not have gotten this far without him. He even says that. Frodo has a burden on him, or a load if you would. Sam repeatedly says he can share the load with him. At first, due to Smeagol's manipulation, Frodo thinks that Sam is just trying to get one over on him and take the ring from him. Sam does end up taking the ring when he's passed out from Shelob, so technically he does help him like carry the load for a bit, but Frodo takes it back because it's his responsibility. He feels like he needs to take it to Mount Doom. But regardless of that, Sam physically carries Frodo, again, repeating that, he physically carries him to Mount Doom, so regardless, he does help him a lot with this burden. And again, if you're kind of like viewing Frodo, or if rather Frodo's viewing himself as the burden, if Sam is literally carrying him to the finish line. Song 37, Us and Them by Pink Floyd. Oh, this is one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs. Us and them, and after all, we're only ordinary men. Me and you, God only knows it's not what we would choose to do. Forward he cried from the rear, and the front rank died. The general sat, and the lines on the map moved from side to side. Ooh! The hobbits are just ordinary men who got caught up in an all-out war. A lot of the other people in the Fellowship, or who are like helping wage this war, are warriors. They are rulers. They have been through this before. They understand combat. They have done this, right? None of this is what they normally choose to do. It even reminds me of the line Sam delivers in The Two Towers. By all accounts, we shouldn't even be here. But then he goes on to explain that there's goodness that they should be fighting for still. And now here they are at Mount Doom with their companions and friends, moved to Mordor to distract Sauron, so the hobbits can slip in undetected. So there's still this element of their companions going through and still waging one last fight against this oppressive evil, just so they can get a shot to go to the volcano. Song 38, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me by Elton John, my favorite Elton John song. I can't light no more of your darkness. All my pictures seem to fade to black and white. I'm growing tired and time stands still before me, frozen here on the ladder of my life. Too late to save myself from falling. I took a chance and changed your way of life. But you misread my meaning when I met you, closed the door and left me blinded by the light. Don't let the sun go down on me. Although I search myself, it's always someone else I see. I just allow a fragment of your life to wander free, but losing everything is like the sun going down on me. I can't find, the right romantic line, but see me once and see the way I feel. Don't discard me just because you think I mean you harm. And these cuts I have, they need love to help them heal. Frodo has nothing left anymore. He is at Mount Doom, and he is at the end of his rope. He can give no more light in the darkness. He is in fact giving into it. He is at the point where Sauron is there. The ring is fully calling to him now, and it's really taking him hostage at this point. He isn't seeing himself anymore. He only sees the ring. That's all he can experience now. He has deep cuts now. Deep cuts that are going to take a long time to heal, and they never fully heal. Song 39 is Burning Pile by Mother Mother. I know. Mother. But the Mother songs I picked, I think, are very fitting for the themes that we're going for. So I think it's... Okay, so Burning Pile. All my style, all my grace, all I've tried to save my face, all my guts try to spill, all my holes try to fill. On my saving philosophy, it goes one in the bank and the rest for me. It goes all my troubles on a burning pile, all lit up, and I start to smile. If I catch fire, then I change my aim, throw my troubles at the pearly gates. Frodo's been trying to save face the moment he got the ring. He's tried to not let his exhaustion truly show until now. Basically when he's getting into Mordor, like you can tell, well, even in Two Towers really, like he tries for a really long time and he lasts longer than a lot of people would, but his exhaustion does start to shine through. The manipulation of the ring starts to shine through. Now at the crack of doom, his mind is truly leaving him and he is fully giving into the ring and its voice. He's throwing his troubles away because he essentially gives in. Song 40 is Oh Anna by Mother Mother. I know, more Mother. Crazy, but I think these two fit well for being at Mount Doom. I'll be God today. Being this godly can't be good for Anna's safety. Anna, hear me. I'll play God today. Ante up and play that God a poker game. Walk away with all our little God's spare change. Playing this God, it can't be good for Anna's safety. Anna, hear me. Oh, Anna, I'll be with you still. You are the angel that I couldn't kill. Frodo fully gives into having the ring and plays God. The Anna in this song is theorized to be different people. Some people think it's the narrator talking about themselves, and some people think it's another party. I think that it could work either way, but I prefer to think that Anna is Sam in this situation because, again, harking back to the idea of in the Two Towers when he almost hurts Sam, he physically couldn't bring himself to do it. And I think that even him giving into the ring now, he realizes that like he could never truly hurt him because he cares too much for him, even when all that humility is kind of leaving him. Frodo's also ignoring any harm done onto himself, which is very much highlighted in this song of this person is like talking about hurting themselves and like playing God where it's not really gonna hurt them. He's not really thinking about any of that. He even gets his finger bitten off by Smeagol, and he still doesn't really care. It's painful, but he still runs after Smeagol to try to get the ring. It's not really bothering him like it would normally. He's not really refraining from going back for the ring. In fact, he's going even farther and like falls off the cliff with him. Song 41, So Much for Stardust by Fall Out Boy. I'm in a winter mood, dreaming of spring now. I'm burning myself down. I feel like something that has stretched over and over again until I'm creased and I'm about to break down the middle, split me right down the middle, right down the middle. The stars are the same as ever. I don't have the guts to keep it together. Stuck in the permafrost. I'm stuck in a lonely loop, my baby. So much for stardust. We thought we had it all, thought we had it all. In another life, you were my babe. In another life, you are the sunshine of my lifetime. What would you trade the pain for? I'm not sure. I used to be a real go-getter. I used to think it would all get better. And I also like, I actually didn't realize this until now, I like that there are a couple references to other, like, songs that are independent of each other, referencing each other, where we were talking about I used to bring you sunshine, now all I ever do is bring you down. Don't let the sun go down on me. And now we've got, you were the sunshine of my lifetime. What would you trade the pain for? Frodo feels like he has given everything he could. He's being manipulated by the ring, has been traveling on foot. Hey, future me coming at you with terrible lighting, to say that also part of this song, when he says, I feel like something that's been stretched out over and over again, it reminds me of the line Bilbo says in the beginning of Fellowship, where he says, I feel thin, stretched out, like bread, like butter scraped over too much bread. He feels like he's going through it, even blaming Sam earlier for his own problems. He essentially gives in, possibly thinking he deserves the ring after all this time. The song itself is very apocalyptic and lamentful in nature. Frodo's out of his mind at this point, and Sam laments losing him through the ring and having everything been for naught. Song 42, Exit Music for a Film by Radiohead. Wake from your sleep, the drying of your tears. Today we escape, we escape. Breathe, keep breathing, don't lose your nerve. Breathe, keep breathing, I can't do this alone. Now we are one in everlasting peace. We hope that you choke, that you choke. So I didn't know this until doing research on some of the songs I did on this playlist, like further research, but I didn't realize the song was from Romeo plus Juliet. I watched that movie twice and I didn't realize that song was in it. It must be a credit song. I'll have to rewatch it. Sam insists that Frodo must destroy the ring, you know, don't lose your nerve, throw it into the fire. I can't do this alone, as neither of these people would have been able to trek to Mordor and get to Mount Doom by themselves. I imagine the song is describing when Frodo finally grabs Sam's hand and Smeagol dies. I think neither of them are spiteful about Smeagol, but they're probably hoping that this will finally bring Sauron down or, you know, make him choke. Song 43, Wait by M83. I love M83. Send your dreams where nobody hides, give your tears to the tide. No time, there's no end, there is no goodbye, disappear in the night, no time. The song is very short. But I feel like a lot of the songs on this album are very cinematic, and I will bring that up again with another song, actually two other songs. There's no end, there's no goodbye. Sam's trying desperately to save Frodo, holding on to the hope that they can still come home. He's able to grab hold of him. He's still, all this time, like after everything that's happened and Frodo like decides to take the ring, Sam is still trying to grab him from the cliff. He's still calling out to him, even though Frodo's looking down at the ring, debating on getting it. He's still holding out for that hope that Frodo is going to grab his hand. Song 44, Francesca by Hosier. Do you think I'd give up? That this might have shook the love from me, or that I was on the brink? How could you think, darling, I'd scare so easily? Now that it's done, there's not one thing that I would change. My life was a storm since I was born. How could I fear any hurricane? If someone asked me at the end, I'd tell them put me back in it. Darling, I would do it again. If I could hold you for a minute. For all that was said of where we'd end up at the end of it, when the heart would cease, ours never knew peace. What good would it be on the far side of things? It was too soon. when that part of you was ripped away, a grip taking hold like a cancer that grows, each piece of your body that it takes, though I know my heart would break. I feel like this to me is showing the loyalty that Sam has to Frodo. No matter what Frodo has done this whole time, kind of like what I was saying with the last song, it hasn't scared Sam away. Even in like the movie version, when like Frodo makes Sam, you know, leave, like he still comes back to help him. At this point, like nothing is making him afraid of him. He's like one of the only people who like sees through it, and he understands it's the ring. He's doing his best to understand him. He hasn't faltered, and would do it all again if he needed to. He would go through this again with Frodo. The ring has a huge grip on Frodo, and it took parts of him away, parts that Sam loved about Frodo, but he knew it was still him. Okay, now this one. Okay, now this one. Song 45, Like a Prayer. Specifically the choir version from Deadpool and Wolverine. I know this sounds crazy. This is just Like a Prayer by Madonna, but this song, when I saw it in Deadpool and Wolverine, I was like, this is a really funny scene, but it's also like a very emotional scene. It's a very great scene. I've seen a lot of edits to the song, and I made my own really crappy one to showcase what I mean. But let me read out the lyrics real quick just to get there. Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. I hear your voice. It's like an angel sighing. I have no choice. I hear your voice. Feels like flying. Okay, hear me out. The version of the song is very cinematic. I imagine the voice is Sam and the ring. This is the point where Frodo holds himself up from the cliff, his mind still being controlled by the ring as it calls out to him. Sam's voice trumps the ring, and Frodo makes his decision to go with Sam and have him rescue him. That's powerful stuff. And here's my silly little edit. I'm guesstimating right now. Okay, move on to part 5. Mount Doom and Sauron's destruction. Song 46. We're in the home stretch, folks. We're kind of towards the end here. Skyfall by Adele. Also a great movie. This is the end. Hold your breath and count to 10. Feel the earth move and then hear my heart burst again. For this is the end. I've drowned and dreamt this moment. So overdue, I owe them. Swept away, I'm stolen. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, face it all together. Let the sky fall when it crumbles. We will stand tall, face it all together at Skyfall. Skyfall is where we start, 1,000 miles and poles apart, where worlds collide and days are dark. You may have my number, you can take my name, but you'll never have my heart. Where you go, I go. What you see, I see. I know I'll never be me without the security of your loving arms keeping me from harm. Put your hand in my hand and we'll stand. Oh boy, okay. This song is Mount Doom exploding to a T for me. Frodo and Sam escape from the mouth of the volcano, wind up on a piece of earth while lava envelops the ground around them. It is the end of their mission and the end of their lives. It finally hits them. Sauron may have had control over Frodo, but he will never take his heart. He's now feeling more like himself. He's feeling that relief of having that burden off of him. He's feeling like Frodo again. As the world crumbles around them, Sam and Frodo huddle together to face the end together. Song 47, As the World Caves In by Matt Maltese. My feet are aching and your back is pretty tired, we set our grief aside. And here it is, our final night alive, as the earth burns to the ground. Oh girl, it's you that I lie with, as the atom bomb locks in, as the world caves in. If you don't know what the origins of the song is, you should look it up because it's very interesting. I'm not going to go into it here because it's not related to this and it's not really important to the overall song because a lot of people use this for apocalyptic stuff. So I'm putting that aside. The lyrics are once again the destruction of Mount Doom to a T. They're both exhausted. Frodo feels relief for the first time in a while. Sam grieves not talking to Rosie Moore, not marrying her. The earth around them is burning. They lie together in solace as the world caves in around them, unable to move from their piece of earth under their feet. I think the set her grief aside is very interesting, as like Sam is grieving that life he couldn't have, and Frodo's just like, I appreciate you being here with me. He wishes that it didn't have to end up like this, but he's happy to not be alone in this moment. Song 48, The End of All Things by Panic at the Disco. Whether near or far, I am always yours. Any change in time, we are young again. In these coming years, many things will change, but the way I feel will remain the same. The only note I have written here is, I am glad you were here with me, here at the end of all things, Sam. The title of the song is The End of All Things. I just feel like it's perfect. Song 49. My Tears Are Becoming a Sea by M83. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. This song is very short. I'm slowly drifting to you. The stars and the planets are calling me, a billion years away from you. I'm on my way, I'm on. I imagine this is the song that plays when Gandalf brings the eagles and rescues Sam and Frodo from Mount Doom. And I can't describe it other than that. It's just one of those things you're just gonna have to like imagine or look at. I'll try to make an edit of it, but I don't think I'll have the time tonight. But it's one of those very cinematic songs. I also think that the lyrics of, I'm slowly drifting to you, I'm on my way, like it's very literal. So okay, next two songs flow into each other, so this is fun. Song 50, Brain Damage by Pink Floyd. Remembering games and daisy chains and laughs, and if the dam breaks open many years too soon, and if there is no room upon the hill, and if your head explodes with dark forebodings too, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. You raise the blade, you make the change, you rearrange me till I'm sane. This makes me think about Frodo remembering his life before the ring, like he's finally feeling like himself again. Daisy chains and laughs. If he loses his mind again, Sam will be there with him. He has the fellowship, or what's left of it. The ring may be gone, but there will be after effects that will haunt him for the rest of his life. Dark side of the moon is like representative of the dark parts of life, and then the sun is the good parts of life, like basically on this album. And then we've got song 51, Eclipse by Pink Floyd, going off that theme. These songs flow right into each other. It's beautiful. Now, I'm just gonna read all these lyrics because I think that it's just very monumental for this moment. All that you touch, all that you see, all that you taste, all that you feel, and all that you love, and all that you hate, all you distrust, all that you save, and all that you give, and all that you deal, and all that you buy, beg, borrow, or steal, and all that you create, all you destroy, and all you do, and all that you say, and all that you eat, and everyone you meet, and all that you slay, and everyone you fight, and all that is now, and all that is gone, and all that's to come, and everything under the sun is now in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. Okay, so everything's over. This to me is a very cumulative song. It's just the whole journey, it's just everything you've experienced, and there's always going to be dark parts of it, dark parts of any kind of thing that you go through, but the sun will always eclipse the moon. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always something good after all the bad. And that to me is what that song is, and I think it's a very fitting moment for when they're leaving Mordor. It's just the realization of I am going home and I'm going to be alive. Everything I've experienced is not for naught. I've experienced this for a reason, and I will be alive, and the sun will be out again, and it will eclipse this darkness. So now we have part 6, Returning Home. We're in the home stretch here. These are the last batch of songs. So the next one is His Theme by Toby Fox. This is an instrumental song. This is one that I cannot describe fully why it's on here, but this song is a part of, if I'm not mistaken, it's a part of Asriel's boss fight in Undertale, and it's very lullaby sounding, it's very coming home sounding, but it also has that grandiose of a boss fight. It's got that grandiose of something very important happening. Maybe not boss fight, but grandiose in the sense of like, this is a big pivotal story moment. There's something huge happening here. And that's the kind of feeling this song gives me. To me, it's always the feeling of the fight is now over. You can rest now. Hope is not lost. There's a light. It's again that feeling of the sun coming back out. This to me is like the reunion. This is like the reunion song of the Fellowship. This is when he gets to see all of his friends again. Everybody's reunited in Rivendell, and it's just beautiful. Song 53, Everything Stays by Olivia Olson. This is from Adventure Time. Also, it reminds me of Steven Universe a lot too, because that's what they made the movie based on. Rebecca Sugar wrote this song. Technically, but Olivia Olson sings it. Let's go in the garden, you'll find something waiting, right there where you left it, lying upside down. When you finally find it, you'll see how it's faded, the underside is lighter when you turn it around. Everything stays right where you left it, everything stays but it still changes, ever so slightly, daily and nightly, in little ways when everything stays. For this song, I like to imagine the hobbits coming back home and realizing their home hasn't really changed too much, but they have. But also in the sense, Hobbit society doesn't really change much. They're very like they stay the same, but they've still missed out on things. Like when they come home, it feels like everybody's kind of moved on to other things. Like there's the scene where they're at the bar and everybody seems like they're having a good time and they feel like they don't fit in there anymore. Their lives kept going while those 4 hobbits kind of, when they left home, like they experienced so many other things. There was just like this big change. I also like to imagine Frodo comes back home, and since he has his garden that Sam attends to, I like to imagine like maybe he left an item the night of the party, and like he picks up the item and gets really emotional seeing how much the item itself has changed, and he sees that change in himself. Their home does kind of change a little bit, at least the people do, because they've grown. Everybody does some growing, even if it's not as big as their growth, if that makes sense. Like, of course, they've gone through this whole journey, and like nobody in the Shire has, but they're still changing every day in little ways when everything stays. Song 54, Ghosting by Mother Mother. I know this is our last Mother Mother song, but I think this one is like the best one for this. I've been ghosting along, ghosts in the world, ghosts with no home. I remember the days when I made you oh so afraid. Hey, would it be so bad if I stayed? I'm just a ghost out of his grave. You don't need treats, you don't need tricks, you don't need me. I feel this song highlights Frodo's loneliness after coming home. He's finally back and has made many wonderful friends, and of course he's closer than ever with Sam, Merry, Pippin, but there's still that creeping loneliness from being a ring bearer that haunts him. I imagine he feels like a ghost in his own home. Bilbo's no longer with him, and Sam has created a family. Bag End is very lonely. Song 55, Courage by Villagers. It took a little time to get where I wanted. It took a little time to get free. It took a little time to be honest. It took a little time to be me. I took a little lover, but then we parted. I took a little time to get over this. From time to time, I get heavy-hearted. Do you really want to know about these lines on my face? Well, each and every one is a testament to all the mistakes I've made. Courage, in harmony with something other than your ego. Courage, the sweet belief of knowing nothing comes for free. It took immense courage to take up the mantle of carrying the ring. It took a while for Frodo to finally get reacclimated and feel like himself again. But even then, some of his scars just never go away. Like, he has a lot of trauma from this. He has a lot of emotional and mental scars and physical scars from the journey. And they will never heal. Song 56, Vienna by Billy Joel. Slow down, you crazy child. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. But then if you're so smart, tell me, why are you still so afraid? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? You better cool it off before you burn it out. You got so much to do and only so many hours in a day. You're gonna kick off before you even get halfway through. When will you realize Vienna waits for you. Too bad, but it's the life you lead. You're so ahead of yourself that you forgot what you need. Though you can see when you're wrong, you know you can't always see when you're right. Vienna to me in this case is the Undying Lands. He didn't realize that it was waiting for him at the end, but now it is. He was so ahead of himself in the journey, like, he didn't really think too much about it before declaring, like, I will take the ring to Mordor. He just saw everybody fighting over it, and he figured, like, I don't want to see everybody fight over this. Like, it just feels very spur of the moment. I'll do it. I'll take it if that's what must be done. Song 57, No Surprises by Radiohead. A job that slowly kills you, bruises that won't heal. You look so tired, unhappy. I'll take a quiet life, a handshake of carbon monoxide. No alarms and no surprises. Silent, silent. This is my final fit, my final bellyache with no alarms and no surprises. Such a pretty house and such a pretty garden. He just wants a quiet life now. He didn't want these excitements to send him to his grave, and now that he's back, he just wants to live in peace as much as he can. He had his fill of an adventure, and it almost cut his life short. His job or task of carrying the ring did almost kill him. It was very slowly killing him. And he's got bruises that will not heal. He's got such a beautiful home. He's got Bag End now. He's inherited it from Bilbo. He's got such a beautiful garden. And he would love to live there, I'm sure, if he could, but too much pain. Song 58, Heaven is for Everyone by Queen. In these days of cool reflection, you come to me and everything seems alright. In these days of cold affections, you sit by me and everything's fine. This could be heaven for everyone. This world could be fed, this world could be fun, this could be a heaven for everyone. This world could be free, this world could be one. Frodo set out to save the Shire, but not for himself. The world is now free due to everyone's efforts, resulting in a heaven that they can all live in peacefully now. I sort of imagine this going along with Aragorn's coronation scene. This is part 7, The Undying Lands. Song 59, Who Wants to Live Forever by Queen. There's no time for us, there's no place for us. Who wants to live forever? There's no chance for us, it's all decided for us. This world has only one sweet moment set aside for us. I feel like this is a melancholic take on Frodo grappling with the fact that he probably should go to the Undying Lands. Like, he probably doesn't really want to leave. He probably doesn't really want to go there because he's leaving everybody he loves behind except for Bilbo. But at one point, it outweighs the pain for him. Who wants to live forever, but who also wants to live with the pain of being a ring bearer every day? Song 60, Mr. Loverman by Ricky Montgomery. Before I can get back to you, oh, what am I supposed to do without you? I'm Mr. Loverman, and I miss my Loverman. I'm Mr. Loverman, and I miss my lover. If you subscribe to Sam and Frodo being in love, this song feels like Frodo's POV when he's leaving for the Undying Lands. Sam now has a family. The Undying Lands can allow him to live in peace for the rest of his days, but he'll be without Sam. This very much feels like a lamenting song. Lamenting, you know, like, I think he's very happy for him having a family, but if you do think of them being in love, like, I think he does feel this pain of, like, not being able to share that life with Sam, and at one point, like, again, there's just nothing really here for him, but there is this basically heaven he can go to, and that's what he's going to do, because there's nothing really left for him here except for being in physical and emotional pain. Song 61, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John, one of my favorite Elton John songs. So goodbye Yellow Brick Road, I'm going back to my plow, back to the howling old back to the howling what the hell? Back to the howling old owl in the woods, hunting the horny back toad. Oh, I finally decide my future lies beyond the yellow brick road. Okay. So this song is about, like, fame and the effects of it, and I'm not going to read it that way. Sorry, Mr. John. But it's very much about Elton John's fame, and, like, I should have listened to my father, I should have stayed on the farm. The imagery of the farm, again, evokes the feeling of the Shire, but beyond the yellow brick road is what Frodo is going to have. He realizes his future lies there. His future lies in the Undying Lands. That's all that, again, is left for him. At one point, like, he even, in the books, he becomes mayor. So, like, he has things that he can do at home, and he does do them for a bit. He takes care of like earthly affairs, but then at one point there's not really much left for him, so he goes back home and enjoys some of the comforts of it, but there's not many comforts left with what he's dealing with. Song 62, God Only Knows by the Beach Boys. Oh man. I may not always love you, but as long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. If you should ever leave me, well, life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. This is Frodo and Sam's farewell. Neither want Frodo to leave, and they both wonder what they'd be without each other, since they relied on each other so much. They care so much for each other, but they know it's for the best. That scene gets me every time, man. Oh. Song 63, Goodbye to a World by Porter Robinson. Now, this song is very repetitive. Every verse is the same. Thank you, I'll say goodbye soon. Though it's the end of the world, don't blame yourself now. And if it's true, I will surround you and give life to a world that's our own. This is just a goodbye song. This was one of those songs I added in 2020. It may be a little overzealous and maybe overstaying its welcome, but it's staying. I think it's actually a really cool song because the song sort of starts to break down. It's very robotic sounding, but I really like that it's sort of over the 4 verses of it repeating. It gets very like you can barely understand what the narrator's saying at one point. It's very cool. This is the Goodbye to Middle Earth. I'll say goodbye soon, though it's the end of my world. Don't blame yourself. I will surround you and give life to a world that's our own. He tried to help save everybody, and through everybody's efforts, the world has been saved. So they gave life to a new world. Song 64 is instrumental, so I don't have any lyrics to say. Where the Boats Go by M83. I think the title kind of gives it away. I think this is just one you have to listen to. It's a great send-off song, and I think it's just perfect for Frodo sailing away. And that's kind of all I got. His character is very, very dear to me. I feel like, I know everybody kind of reads Lord of the Rings a little different, especially as a literary device, but I really love this story a lot. I think it's a beautiful idea of what male friendships can be like. I think it's like a beautiful take on camaraderie and fellowship, and it's just such a beautiful story about all these relationships. Even if, like, again, you read Sam and Frodo as romantic, I think there's so many beautiful friendships in the books and movies. It's wonderful. And I think everybody kind of does get their chance to shine, and I think that's also, like, a very beautiful part of the story. Like, everybody has different characters, and everybody has different, parts they love about it, and I think I've never really seen something quite like that, where so many of those characters are beloved, and I think that's a very beautiful thing. I would like to just say, if you watched this all the way to the end, thank you, and if you like the playlist, thank you so much. It's my most beloved one for myself, but also from my audience perspective, and I can't be more grateful for that. When I made that back 4 years ago, I never expected that one to be like my best one, but it's stayed the best one. People have been saving it recently. I don't know why, but I'm very excited about it. I hope the revisions are good, and I hope people still like the playlist, but I hope that you understood where I was coming from with all these lyrics and reasons for the songs being on the playlist. I enjoyed making this very much, and I know that this video is going to be long, but I hope that it's enjoyable, and I hope that it makes sense. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. I'm not an expert at all on this series, and I don't claim to be, because as much as I do think I am a fan, I'm not like a super fan. I would never be like, oh my god, I know everything about like Tolkien's universe. Absolutely not. But I do very much care about these characters, and I try to do them justice, so I hope I did. And with that, I'm showering and going to bed. But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for tuning in if you did. Even if you just watched a little bit, I appreciate it. Thanks for listening to me blab for like probably an hour and a half. Jesus. And that concludes J Talks for a long time. I'll do another playlist one soon, when I don't have an egregious amount of homework probably, so bye! Thank you again.